And welcome back, seniors. Again, you should have completed the video about the persecution of Christians during the communist era, and it was called Persecuted Church, Soviet Attack Against the Churches. And in this segment, we're going to talk about Eastern Orthodox Christianity after the fall of the Soviet the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, or the USSR. And this fall happened in 1991. I was 8 years old and remember hearing a little bit about it on the news, but it was a big deal because for decades the US and the USSR had been enemies locked in what was called the Cold War, and it had affected much of the world, and its effects can still be felt today. When the USSR fell, the Russian Orthodox Church emerged as a rallying point, again, just as we saw when the Muslim armies lost their control in Greece and many Balkan countries, and there was a swarm to return to the Orthodox faith. In those countries, the same thing happened in Russia. Also, because there's now freedom of religion, American evangelicals flocked to Russia to evangelize. And this has created a conflict of faith in these countries, as the Russian Orthodox Church for the first time has had competition with these Western and more modern forms of Christianity, when it traditionally had a strong monopoly as the only type of Christianity prevalent in Russia. And so this raises a question: does the Orthodox Church need to reform and accept Protestantism's critique of its beliefs and practices? Many of these Protestant churches view the Orthodox Church as dead or as missing key facets like a personal relationship, and they're just about ritual. Or are these Protestant churches violating Paul's teaching in Romans 15:20 by planting on another's foundation? Should they seek to support the Russian church, even as they disagree with some aspects of it, and not try to create the kind of competition, religious competition, that we have in America, for instance? I'd like you to take a second and watch two videos that highlight these different perspectives. The first video is called Reaching Russia Together, and it's by an organization called Send International that sends young people on missions trips to different countries. And I want you to notice its perception of Russia, and particularly of the Eastern Orthodox Church. There's only the tiniest glimpse of the church or mention of the church, and it's very different than the second video I'm going to show you. So watch that. It's on Google Classroom. Again, it's called Reaching Russia Together. And then watch the video Faith Cure, Christ Reborn in Post-Soviet Russia. And Russia has had a ton of Orthodox churches rebuilt or newly built. And again, as I showed you in those pictures, they're very fancy. Some of them are filled with other buildings, almost like a campus. And it's a huge number. It'll say in the video how many have been planted and grown Russian Orthodox churches since the fall of the communist government in 1991. And again, look at the perception that they have on Western Christianity and why Eastern Orthodoxy is correct. And I want you to think about it, is this conflict, is Russia and Russian Orthodoxy the best way to reach the Russian people, or is it bringing in more an American kind of Christianity that you'll see in the first video by Send International? Is that the better way to reach the lives of young people and with contemporary worship and other forms of American evangelicalism? After you finish watching those two videos, come back to watch the third part of this lecture series on Notes 3A. Thank you.